Hello and welcome to the Big League Show. As always, I'm Connor Somerville, joined by Aiden Celifant, who is somewhere around here. And this week, we're joined by the friendly neighborhood cameraman, as his Instagram claims, Mr. Joseph Shinauda. How do you say your last name?
Shinauda, yeah.
Shinauda. Joseph Shinauda. Joseph, how are you doing today, man?
I'm good. You know, it's noontime. We're just chilling at home on our computers all day, so I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing good. Getting used to online classes. We're technically into week 3, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been interesting. You know, Ryerson just announced like yesterday or a couple of days ago that we're doing the winter online as well. So we're gonna have to see how that goes. But we'll dive into all that Ryerson stuff in a second. First, we want to talk about you and you in terms of your career in sport media, what you've done in sport media, everything like that. And the question that we open with every week now that I've started doing that is, what is your first memory of sports and sports media?
Oh, of sports in terms of like playing sports?
Yeah, like playing sports, watching sports, and then just sports media. Like, is it waking up at 8 a.m. watching Jay and Dan or anything like that?
In terms of playing sports, it'd probably just be playing soccer as a little 5-6-year-old. Really, I don't recollect much of it, but I just remember being a little kid. I had a full Liverpool kit. I don't know why it was Liverpool. My mom just got it or whatever, and that's, if I were to watch soccer like a lot, that's the team I would watch. Now they got an Egyptian, so their star is Egyptian, so it's extra motivation to root for Liverpool. But yeah, in terms of sport media, probably social media, obviously. With Instagram is where I'm mostly kind of active in terms of social media. With the Raptors, I have a fan page, and with myself, my personal brand or work, I have my own where I post photo and video content and graphic stuff as well that I kind of worked on just to get myself out there.
Yeah, and we'll dive into all that in a second. But let's sort of talk about your early life in terms of sports. And you mentioned you're a Liverpool. I guess, are you a Liverpool fan? You follow soccer a lot or no?
I don't follow soccer, so I wouldn't call myself a fan, but that's a team I would watch. Like, I'm not going to claim to be a fan because I'm not that knowledgeable. I don't watch it that much, so I shouldn't claim it. I don't deserve it, but yeah.
Well, you've picked a good team either way.
Yeah,
because they're insane. And only reason I was asking that is because Toronto FC just signed a Liverpool left back. He's like 21. They signed him on loan till the end of the season. Yeah, little Scottish kid. So
Connor's a big TFC guy, by the way, like huge on TFC.
Oh yeah, I can see the jersey. Yeah,
they play tonight, so I'm hoping to see Gallagher tonight. So
hopefully, they're in Orlando, right?
That ended back in August. They're now doing regular season, and they started off phase 1 with Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, the 3 Canadian teams, just constantly playing each other. And now they've forced all the Canadian teams to the States. Nice. So they're going to be there until like November. But apparently they're going to get a few times to come up to Canada for a couple days to see family. But they just announced like phase 3, they're calling it, schedule yesterday. But yeah, it's been pretty insane, the entire MLS stuff, but we're not going to talk about that because nobody cares about MLS. And I have my own designated podcast for that, which keep an eye on my Twitter. There might be an announcement about that soon. But let's sort of, little plug. Let's sort of talk about your, I guess, getting into Ryerson and sort of early sport media. When did you find out about the program? When did you sort of decide that this would be something you're interested in? When did that sort of come about for you?
Yeah, I think it was like in grade 11, I was just searching universities. I liked to do graphic design at the time, and I was starting to do photography. So I was looking for schools with good graphic design programs, that kind of thing. And then I really don't know how I found it. I just stumbled across sport media, And I'm a huge Raps fan, as you can tell by the banner. And I thought, you know, Ryerson's right here. My dad will be happy, so I don't have to leave home. Yeah, right here. And I researched the program a bit more. Turned out to be one of the best programs that literally suited me in terms of like the facilities, the opportunities, all of that kind of stuff, which was, it literally worked out perfectly. So from like grade 11, I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do. And from there, just applying. We had the supplementary application. I don't think they're doing that anymore right now. I think I've heard they're just doing grades.
Yeah, just by grades now.
Which is weird. I don't think I agree with that because supplementary is kind of, especially for a small, yeah, exactly. For a small program like what, 70, 80 people, you're gonna want to be able to pick the right people. So
yeah,
I think we're at less than 70 now because a few people have switched or dropped out.
Exactly.
And it was 70 when we came in.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, let's sort of dive into that application process then for you. We like to ask people about their interviews and what their question was on the little thing you had to do before your interview, like a little 15-minute type thing.
Okay.
Do you remember what that was? And do you remember who your interviewer was?
I do. I did my interview in March break. It was like the first day. Came down. Oh, actually, I have a good story. Yeah. So I came down. I interviewed with Sean. But we did the typing thing first. I think the question was something along the lines of describing an experience, a fan experience or something like that. And my fan experience was Game 5, Raptors versus Pacers, 2016. I was at Jurassic Park. Norman Powell steals a ball, goes not full court, but steals a ball off Paul George, goes up for the one-handed Superman kind of dunk, and capped off a crazy comeback. We were down, I don't know what, like 15 or something. Norman Powell throws it down. Arena goes crazy. Jurassic Park goes wild, and I don't know. From there, I kind of just elaborated on that experience and how powerful it was, how like you could really feel the environment. Even like we're literally outside watching it on a television screen, and it's arguably more electric outside than it was in the arena. I don't like it. It's tough to say because a lot of suits in the arenas during playoff times as well. And oh wow, what a time. And then the interview went well. Talked to Sean about kind of stuff I did in grade 11. I did I took media arts. So I did like a little, stuck my camera into one of the Raps games. It was Raptors versus Celtics. It was a Huskies night. They wore the blue jersey, throwback jerseys. Snuck my camera in there. So I did a mock documentary trailer on the Huskies, playing the aspect as if the Huskies were coming back in 2016. So that was like one of my first sport productions before entering sport media, which I thought kind of helped me kind of show that I was above just the grades, which is why I feel like the supplementary application is so important. And then exactly. And then I just talked about my Instagram page. I was very active at the time on Instagram, posting graphic content, posting memes, gaining a good amount of following. At the time, 2016, it's crazy. 2016, beginning of 2016, I was at 3,000 followers. I was literally just looking at it a couple weeks ago. 3,000 followers, growing slowly but surely, starting to get some of the Raptors to like my memes or whatever. Got DeMar to like, got Bismack to like, and then I posted a pic of, it was a graphic. It was a really good graphic. I don't want to, it took me like 15, 20 minutes. I don't want to like take away from that. But I posted a graphic of DeMar sitting next to Vince. DeMar passed Vince on, I think, the scoring list or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then I posted that. And then DeMar screenshotted it, reposted it. And then the Raptors reposted it. So I commented, hey, that's my pick. And then the Raptors added me after. Like they edited it and threw credit to We the Raptors. And then from there grew like crazy. And then I started a little hashtag. This is so funny. I started a little hashtag. I'm going off on the rant. I started a little hashtag. DeMar DeRozan should start following We the Raptors on Instagram. That was a full hashtag, no spaces.
Yo, that's sick.
So I kept doing that. And then I think eventually he noticed and he followed, which was crazy. At that time I had 5,000, and then I peaked at 11, and now I'm down. I'm down to like 8.4.
I think you're around 8.4, 8.5, yeah.
Which is still really good.
It's still really good. I should pick it back up, but yeah, I mentioned.
Do you get the swipe up emoji or that swipe up filter on your stories still?
I don't know. I honestly.
Because you only get it if you have 10K, right?
Yeah,
that's how it works.
I haven't even tried it, to be honest. Like, I haven't been locked in for a while on that account, unfortunately. But yeah, so I sort of flexed that to Sean as well. I think he liked it. So I thought the interview went really well. So I went to the campus store after the interview, copped a Ryerson sweater because I was that confident that I could get in. But yeah, from there, yeah, I just knew.
When did you get in?
Nice.
Did I get in? I think I got the email. So I did the interview in March. I got the email around April, May. May. It might have been early May or end of April. I don't remember.
Do you remember where you were when you saw the email?
Yeah. I think I was like in the car or something like that.
Ooh.
Okay.
Which is like, just the middle of nowhere kind of thing. Not at home, not out, but yeah.
So you said you're doing media arts in grade 11 and 12 or throughout high school.
Yeah.
What other kind of courses did you take, or did you take any other courses to kind of help you get into the program?
So it was media arts in grade 11, and I did Comtech in grade 12, which is same teacher, same classroom, similar kind of projects and all that. That's pretty much it, honestly. The classes were good, but it was kind of stuff that I was already kind of doing, and the teacher, he was kind of a meme, so I don't want to discredit him, but he's kind of a meme. Didn't really like his teaching style, wasn't the greatest, but it was good. Yeah, I shouldn't throw too much shade. In case he somehow sees this, you never know.
True, you never know. Yeah,
that's very true.
That's good though. So I guess
class.
It's more so what you're doing. Well, I guess being in Comtech and being in media arts definitely gave you an advantage over some other people who might not have had those programs at their school. But I guess also just the fact that you had a big following on Instagram at the time, that's kind of what gave you the confidence, I would say, to buy that sweater.
I just felt like, I was confident, just from what the stuff that I was trying to do, and just the way I kind of presented my case to Sean in a way that I think some of the questions were, what kind of stuff do you want to, where do you envision yourself coming out of sport media or something like that? And I answered that I want to work for the Raptors. I want to do content. I don't think I said content, the word at the time, but it was that kind of stuff which I thought kind of helped my case a lot. So yeah.
Okay, so like 3 years later now, if he were to ask you that same question, where do you see yourself coming out of sport media, what would your answer be?
Wow, 3 years. It's definitely not shifted too much, but just a little bit. Still very focused on digital media, social media production. Definitely not on camera or any kind of talent related kind of stuff. Obviously, this podcast, this whole talking thing is kind of tough, but we're doing it.
Hey, aren't you like a 3-time Crunch Time champion though?
I don't know how. I don't know how. I three-peated.
Yeah.
I'm retiring. I'm trying to retire on top.
Well, not on top.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you beat me one of those weeks.
I think it's just the camera quality. Like everyone just voted for you for the insane camera quality.
I think the last one I did on my phone. That's probably why I lost, I guess. So I'm gonna say that's why I lost. I could have gone 4-time, but I did it on my phone. So coming out of the program, I think still I'd love to work for the Raptors. They got open gym, they got a social media team. I know they got a lot of people already kind of slated, which is kind of tough because I'm young and I'm kind of like no name right now. I'm trying to build that name, obviously, but I know they have people already, which like I'll probably have to work on it. I don't think I'll be able to obviously graduate and go directly to the Raptors, but that would be the dream, you know, to be able to follow my favorite team around, post content, create content, I should say, kind of follow the team. Yeah. Otherwise,
to start with the 905.
Yeah. I've seen some people do some stuff with the 905. They're in Saga. So it's a little deep right now, and obviously I don't even know, they're not playing right now. So all dependent on how our world shapes up as well.
Very true. In the middle of a pandemic, we don't really know where we're going to be in 2 weeks, never mind 2 years.
Exactly.
But it's all pretty crazy. And it's interesting that you sort of haven't shifted your focus away from the Raptors or away from the whole digital side of things. When you like create content, what are you sort of looking to do? Are you trying to make it interesting? Or trying to make it engaging? Are you trying to make it informative? What are you sort of aiming to do with your digital content?
For me, first and foremost, it's got to look good. Obviously, it's got to strike the eye kind of thing. It's got to tell a story. So whether it's a photo, whether it's a video, whether it's a graphic, I want to be able to kind of, like with certain photos, you see teammates picking each other up in a championship in a tournament game, or guys grinding in the gym, they're sweating. You can see the drips of sweat coming off. I just want to be able to tell that kind of story, whether it's someone grinding or whether it's a big moment, whether it's a photo or a video or any kind of piece. You want to be able to show that in sports. That's the biggest thing on social media. You want to be able to show people effectively and efficiently what is going on and capture the eye and bring that attention. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
I know that feeling where you just get lost on something you're talking
about.
Yeah,
I had something and then I lost it and then I just kept going when I should have stopped.
Those like little just talking in your head is a killer in these sort of things because you just say the worst, most awkward, random things on the planet.
Exactly.
I am very guilty of that. If you've listened to this podcast for a while, you'll know that. But let's sort of cut back a little bit to your time at Ryerson. Talk about courses. What has been your favorite course that you've taken at Ryerson? And this could be sport media related. This could be an elective. This could just be anything. What have you sort of really enjoyed?
Ooh, favorite course might be the second year TV lab. I just felt like even though like it was more live TV kind of focused, which isn't not much what I do, there were still the features, there were still the interviews. I did one on-air thing, which kind of helped me bring me out of my comfort zone, which I appreciate. It was fun, like all together. The class was really fun. The class was always engaged. The class was never dull. The assignments, the projects, the work was never boring. It was always engaging. It was always stuff that I wanted to do, kind of thing. Like in other classes, I don't like writing essays. I don't like reading. So in that class, it wasn't much reading. It was more hands-on, kind of, this is what we're doing. We're producing content, we're producing shows, we're producing media, you know?
You were big on Roots of the Rams for that class as well. And I remember, like, it wasn't just that show, but I think for most of the shows, you were the graphics guy. And I remember you just like sitting by the graphics computer and like making new graphics as the show was going on, just in case anything went wrong or in case we needed to throw it to another graphic. So that's what really caught my attention about you. Like, you really like what you're doing, but you also put in the work as well. So like you always want, and even if I don't think that was your group as well, but you were just helping them out with that, right?
For the graphics one, I was like the font coordinator or something like that. That was the Competing for Canada,
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't remember why we were creating stuff on the fly. I think we were adapting it to, it was like the monitor in the back, the way the graphics were showing was kind of like on the camera, the way the graphics were showing was like too bright on the screen kind of thing, like the white background you couldn't really see. But yeah, it was a lot of stuff that I like to do, so it wasn't tedious work, it wasn't like annoying work. It was like, like being on set. I like making stuff, to say little words that I like making stuff. So whether it's graphics, whether it's features, both shows were really fun to do. Really honestly, they were both really fun to do. And I had different roles. Like, I wasn't doing the same thing. I had different roles, and it was fun.
So you like really creating content, creating original stuff then? That's sort of what you've fallen in love with?
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like that's very beneficial in this program then, because I think that's what this program really supplies in overabundance, I guess. The ability to create original stuff. And it's good that you've enjoyed it, and it's good that you've sort of figured out what you want to do specifically. It sounds like you sort of had an idea of this sort of thing you wanted to do, but at Ryerson, you sort of finalized exactly what that is. And that's what this program is very beneficial for, and is very helpful for people who are looking to get into sport media and get into things like that. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You don't have to be focused like Joseph was on what exactly you want to do. I came in here thinking I was going to do TV, and I ended up finding out I hated TV and I want to do radio and podcasting instead. And you change, you adapt, you learn more about who you are and what you want to create. So I think that's really beneficial for us, for everybody, and hopefully for sport media in general. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll dive into the stuff that you've done with the Eye Opener, Roots of the Ram, everything along those lines. So we'll be right back. All right, now let's dive into the work that you've done with Ryerson affiliated stuff, because you've done a lot of stuff outside of Ryerson. We already mentioned the Instagram account, which we'll dive into also in a bit more detail in a little bit. All three of your Instagrams, I guess. But let's start with Roots of the Ram, because you mentioned that you were involved with that at the end of our last segment, I guess. Forced segment, thanks to Zoom. But what have you sort of done with Roots of the Ram? How did that sort of come about? What are your sort of plans for the future? Just why don't you start off with what you've done for that sort of group?
Yeah. So Roots of the Ram started as like it was the second year. Sorry, big breath. Whoa. It was the TV lab pitch. So basically, the concept of the show was to kind of tell stories of former Rams and Ryerson Rams athletes, and how they became Ryerson Rams athletes, and their whole stories. So yeah, I knew that they said it was going to be feature heavy, and I wanted to be involved in kind of producing the features, which was one of the things that I like to do, kind of telling the stories of athletes overall. So I contacted Thomas and kind of told him, hey, I'd love to be part of the show. I'd love to kind of hop on and help. And then we did, so the first feature that I did, or I was a part of, was Ryerson Baseball, Andrew Sufreda. So we went out to Oakville, we did a shoot with him, we did an interview. It was really fun, that kind of thing. And then that one went in the show, and then we did Zach Shankar of men's hockey.
Yep.
So for that one, we did an interview. Did I get some game footage? I don't think I did. No game footage on that one. I think Thomas and Cole did a bunch of they went, I don't know how deep they went to, where did they go? They went
Bay?
Northern Ontario. They went far to kind of get some footage there, get some clips of where he's played in the OHL, which was really cool. And then edited that. We did a couple other features. So basically, all I'm doing there is features, kind of producing content, same kind of thing we've been talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely, you can notice a trend in the stuff that you've done.
Yeah.
But where do you sort of see Roots of the Ram going in the future? Because obviously right now it's a bit difficult considering it's a pandemic and you're trying to do features on people, which means you have to be with them.
Yeah.
Where do you sort of see Roots of the Ram going? How involved do you think you're going to be with it? What, just sort of give us the lowdown on Roots of the Ram's future.
So yeah, we're still doing interviews. It's same as this, Zoom interviews, same as everything else, through Zoom. Unfortunately, it is what it is. So basically with that, it's podcasts. So it's like this.
Yeah.
With that, I'm thinking of trying to, with certain Rams that are returning, seeing if I can dig up some footage that I have of them playing last year, or if there's any Rams live footage, that kind of stuff. Seeing what we can kind of do to still add to the content, regardless of our ability to shoot games or shoot interviews live in person, to go out to certain cities or towns or arenas or anything like that, because obviously we can't. So there's a lot of ways we got to adapt, unfortunately. But
yeah, I think a good way maybe of doing it is through baseball, because I know Drew Frank, we had him a few weeks ago, he filmed all the baseball games for Ryerson. So
yeah,
I think there's definitely ample opportunity for Roots of the Ram to continue and keep going, which it sounds like you want to do, and it sounds like the rest of the people involved with it, Thomas, Cole, I think Maddie's involved with it as well.
Kayla, she's involved.
Yeah, a lot of
people. Patricia's big in it.
Patricia, yeah.
We'll have to get Thomas on to talk a lot more about that. But I saw I think the clip to the first podcast.
Yeah.
And it seems pretty good to start. I like the banner they got in the background now, and if they continue with that, I think that's really all they can do, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
It looks good.
Exactly. It's all about adapting in all of sport media, really.
Yeah.
Literally, like, you guys are adapting. You guys aren't in the studio. We're all at home. So, so you guys got all the nice setup. So I just got my little headphones. Yeah.
It's cool with Roots of the Rams though, because that was probably one of the only TV pitches that has actually continued on, past the semester. Like competing for Canada, they didn't do much. I don't know about the ones in Connor's class or the other class as well, but Roots of the Rams, that's a thing that has carried on. And it's good to see Thomas and Cole's ideas, I don't know, come to fruition.
Yeah. They're very committed with carrying it forward and just not letting it. I think that was the initial goal. So they're doing well in terms of keeping it going, really.
Yeah, our pitches were, I think, a FIFA show, like a FIFA tournament, and not a game show. What was it? A talent show. That was what it was. A talent show where Zach Finch, who we previously had on, pretended to be Michael Jackson for a minute, which was just hysterical. And I'm going to get into your dancing in a little bit, but that face says it all.
Oh, no.
I found your YouTube channel, but we'll dive into that.
What? What did you find? What did you find?
Let's just do the YouTube thing now. So you have a YouTube, you have a YouTube channel, which I found. You've got a bunch of cut up hype clips, but one of the videos you had from 5 years ago was a video, obviously, from a camp. This ring any bells?
I haven't seen this video.
It was you and a bunch of guys dancing to Taylor Swift's Bad Blood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so basically with that, it was fun. It was really fun. It's a little cringy looking back, but with that video, it's crazy. That video basically, it was like a traditional, all the senior boys kind of do this dance for the talent show. It's kind of ends the talent show. It was super fun. It was like really engaging for the entire camp. Everyone loved it. Like, it was so fun to be a part of. With that video, that's crazy. It got taken down. It got copyrighted by Taylor Swift.
Really?
So this entire time it's been private, and then now that you bring it up and I'm looking at it, it says public, which is like, I didn't even know that. I thought it was still copyright striked, so I thought no one could see it unless you had the link or whatever.
Right.
Now it says public. So I don't know, maybe Taylor Swift and her label eased up on the restrictions, and that's crazy.
Do mind it left it up to collect ad revenue? Because I know that's one thing you can do. You can copyright claim it, where it doesn't get taken down, but it stays up, and they get all the ad revenue, which off that video is probably 1/10 of a cent, if that. I don't know
how many views. How many views does that have?
It literally probably has not that. It has 114 views because it got taken down. Then I appealed it when I was 15 because I wanted to keep it up.
Right.
So it stayed up for like a day, and then it got privated, and then apparently now it's unprivated. So that's hilarious.
Connor probably did something.
Yeah, I know. Did you like hit up YouTube or something like that?
Yeah, I need some more. I need some more information on this guy for my podcast. I can't find anything. Can you just can you see if there's anything in his privates?
Yeah, what kind of connects do you have at YouTube?
Yeah, exactly. I was scrolling through your Facebook, and you had a post out of you sharing it. Because this is, as we mentioned last week with Therese, this is the stalker segment where I go on everybody's social medias and look through it. Which, if you don't have LinkedIn and you want to come on the podcast, please create a LinkedIn, because those are very, very useful for me. But
so don't do it.
Don't create a LinkedIn. I just came across your YouTube channel, and you had some highlight videos of, I think there were some Lowry. I think there's a Bismack Biombo one.
I love Bismack, man.
Bismack's great. Although I'm kind of glad they didn't re-sign him for what they did.
I was so upset. He's still getting paid 16 million. That's the crazy part. Or 16 or 20 million.
And not even being used, but
he's literally sitting on that. I was hoping he would get waived by Charlotte so we could, pick him up for a little, like a couple million. But man, that guy Bismack, man, that 2016 run, that 2016 run where
that earned him $20 million.
I didn't earn him
all of the money he's making.
Like, that's crazy.
And the finger.
And the finger leg, yes.
And he's just such a likable personality. That's the whole thing about him. Like, he's 20 million.
He's like a Munenori Kawasaki, in that he isn't amazing, but everybody loves him because
exactly.
He's lovable.
Exactly. Like, he's not a star by any means, but everyone, like, I don't know anyone who doesn't like him.
Yeah, that's true. Like, well, maybe not fans of not the Raptors.
Yeah.
And maybe Charlotte fans may not be huge fans of him.
Buddy.
They're paying him like 60.
I don't know any Charlotte fans, but
wow.
I mean, Charlotte's kind of tough.
I feel like there's one guy in our program that's a Charlotte fan. I forget who it is though.
I think
is it John's from North Carolina, but I think he's a Nets fan. He's a Raptor hater for sure.
Yeah.
Which is annoying, but I know for sure he's a Kevin Durant fan.
Because we did an article, I think, in second year about the Charlotte Hornets, and I think someone mentioned something like they knew a lot about Charlotte.
It might have been him, or it could. I think it's Seth.
Is it Seth? It might be Seth.
That might be right.
I think it might be Seth. Now that you say that, could be.
This is gonna drive us all mental for the rest of the day.
Trying
to figure out Charlotte.
I feel like it has to be Seth or John, because John's from there.
Yeah.
I don't know why Seth would be a Charlotte fan.
Yeah, we need to have Seth on. He's done a lot of different things. We said we were going to have him on with Drew Frank.
We said we were going to have so many people on. There's a lot of people in our program still.
Yeah, there's like 60 plus of them, which we'll have most of them on. But yeah, we've got to work our way through the program. We're still getting through everybody. But let's sort of continue speaking of Ryerson, talking about your work with, I guess, the Eye Opener, because you've been involved with them, or you were involved with them last year, doing a lot of camera work. So what was that sort of experience like? How did that role come about? What was just all of it like?
Yeah, so with that, the sports editor at the time came to our journalism class and said how they're always kind of looking for people to help out because it is just volunteer based. And for me, I thought it was a good opportunity. He said they wanted to do some actual content. I don't do writing, and most of the people just write for the Eye Opener, and I don't write at all. So I thought it would be a good opportunity for me, given the fact that I wanted to shoot Ryerson games, but I didn't work for the Rams, and I knew that that's how I can get into Rams games, kind of thing, and just learn, because I was still learning. I was nowhere near the level I am now, and I'm still learning. But like I had trash set up, and as I worked and was able to kind of unfortunately spend all my paychecks on some new gear, I was able to level up. But with that, it was just kind of reaching out, trying to get season opportunity, really. And from there, it's just, I was literally at so many games. I think there's no exact number, but I think I was at like 50 plus. Like that's the ballpark. Could be more, could be less, but for me, I just wanted to be at Rams games, and that was a perfect opportunity to sum it all up.
Yeah, that's a lot of games considering they pretty much play like just on weekends. And
yeah. So with that, it was like some weekends I would literally be shooting men's and women's volleyball from 12 to 4 or whatever, to whatever they ended. And then in the evening on Saturdays, it would be like the same day, it would be hockey up on the fourth floor, like kind of both. Because technically the rinks on the third floor.
True. Yeah.
And basketball down on the second floor. So that's 2, 4, 6 games. Wow, quick math. 6 games in one day, kind of thing. So both men's and women's teams, and all kind of varsity teams. Like there was a couple, maybe 3 or 4 days where it kind of played out like that, where all of the varsity teams played on one day at home, or not all of them, but most of them. It was draining, but it was very fun, and that kind of experience helped me learn a lot. And also being around some of the actual people who worked for the Rams, like Juan Morales helps out a lot, some of the other photographers, and just meeting people who kind of do the same kind of stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah, Juan is graduated now, correct? I think he graduated last year.
He's doing his 5th year.
So, he's doing a 5th year. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing another semester right now. So he's still at Ryerson. He's still very involved, and he's also got a lot of stuff, TSN, and he's very he has a lot of work on his plate. Like he's a hard worker. He's a busy guy. Yeah. He's a busy guy.
And you'll find those in our program. You know, we spoke to one last week in Therese, who's doing countless things all the time.
Exactly.
I know. I think she mentioned you recruited her for a couple of things for the Eye Opener.
Yeah.
I assume you're in pretty good standing with the Eye Opener, as I presume one of the few photographers.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you are there.
Yeah, exactly. Like with that, there was a couple people that volunteered to help out with photography as well. But I was basically the most available and most willing to kind of go. Like usually they wouldn't have someone, like last year they didn't have anyone they had people here and there to kind of do that stuff. But for me, I just wanted to be able to get out there as much as possible. And yeah, they wanted some illustrations, and I knew Therese was really good at illustrations, and I didn't want to do illustrations. That's not kind of my thing. So I kind of recruited her. She helped out a lot, and she's very hardworking. She's got a lot going on. It's crazy as well. It's crazy how really a lot of people work hard to sum it up.
Yeah, it's a program full of hard workers, and it can get tiring, and it's weird to sort of look around at people and think about where you are, and then sort of try not to compare yourself to everybody else, but at the same time you're comparing yourself to everybody else because
that's
sort of
that's the
natural.
tough part. That's the tough part that I've been learning is also like even with like Juan, he helps me out a lot. Like I can always talk to him, and that's what I kind of want to be able to do as well. Is just obviously like last year I did a lot, so I want to be able to help out whether it's people my year or younger years. And there's other people who've been helping me out, so I want to be like that's why because I knew Therese was good at that stuff, and there was a need for it, and I knew she liked it, and I figured if she wanted to do that, why not ask her and see if she would take that opportunity. She did, which was really good. I feel like for us, it's easy to kind of think about yourself, but at the same time, like you have to think about being able to help other people because like you said, a lot of us work hard and it is very draining. So there's a lot of people to help you out. Basically, I'm going on a rant. I don't even know what I'm saying, but a lot of people to help out. Yeah.
Yeah, and we appreciate everyone who comes on here and helps us out. And we, at the same time, we want to help people, give them a platform and share what they're doing and the work that they're doing. And with you, your work with your Instagram accounts, which I guess we can dive into now, like your account by Joseph Shanuda, all your photography, all your film that you've done. And there's some really cool stuff on there. Stuff that I couldn't even dream of doing. And
you can dream. You can do it. Anyway, I'm telling you, like, it's doable.
Yeah.
If you ever need anything, let me know. But yeah, with that page, sorry, I cut you off.
What are you doing with Galaxy Training? Because I think you started that in the summer, right?
Yeah. So with that, it's Galaxy is a basketball training. I don't want to say service, but very good trainer near me in terms of basketball. Very close to me, so it's accessible. I basically just hit him up and said, hey, I'm offering my services. I'll do some stuff for free. I just kind of want to get this. It was after the quarantine, so I want to get back in because I literally haven't done anything for 5 months. So I want to just get back into the gym and shoot. And like for you, you get some content. For me, I just work and continue to learn and grow every day and that kind of thing. And from there, we're developing, trying to grow content, grow following, continue to be consistent with that. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on there in terms of actual physical basketball training, and that's what I kind of wanted to showcase and help out with is that as the brand at Galaxy Training, there's so much opportunity to grow with all of these high level athletes, and that's where I can come in and help out, kind of thing.
So did you approach them or did they approach you?
I approached them for sure. I tried to email him, but the email didn't go through Google or whatever. It's like I got a bounce back or whatever. So I just DM'd him on Instagram, followed up, kind of showed that I wasn't trying to be pushy, but I was trying to get in there. And from there, just tried to prove that I had some value to give and prove worthy and prove and show that I'm trying to work, I'm trying to help out, and I'm trying to this is something that I want to do. And he saw value in that, and from there we're still doing stuff and a lot of stuff going on. Just continuing to grow it and trying to develop it. because there's good opportunity, a lot of high level athletes there. So for me, I just want to be able to showcase that.
So did they already have like a content producer or someone running their social medias before you?
So right now it's there's people here and there. So there's like not one specific person, but there was people here and there, whether it be photographers or videographers or both, which is what kind of I'm doing. But it wasn't someone consistent. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be consistent. Like I didn't want to just be like a one-time kind of, hey, let me just come to the gym once. Like I want to like weekly kind of stuff. And
you wanted to be the guy.
Basically, yeah. It's like it was literally perfect opportunity for me as well, because we're at home all day. We're on Zoom, so if it's close to home, it's easily accessible, and it's a really good program. It's literally like, why not shoot my shot? Pun intended, I guess.
Yeah.
Why not shoot my shot?
Yeah, when you said go to the gym and shoot, I wasn't sure what you
meant. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool. Something that people have to understand is there's not really that many negatives in shooting your shot and trying to get involved with something you want to do. And what people might reject you.
Depends on the content, or context, sorry. Yeah. Worst case scenario, like they're gonna say, what are they gonna say? Like, sorry, no, like always worth it to shoot your shot, whether it be for like a training service or like even with the eye opener. I just shot my shot. I shot an email. Obviously, I knew that they were looking for people, kind of, but still, like how are they gonna notice me if I don't reach out? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that's huge, and understanding how you want to create your brand and try to get involved with more things.
It's really, for us, it's really all about taking your opportunity straight up. You don't miss every shot you don't take, really.
Yeah, exactly. Miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Cliche as it is,
all you can do is ask, right? Like even if you think they're gonna say no, like it doesn't hurt to ask. So that's a big part of this program, making connections and getting involved.
And more times than not, they're gonna say, come through, let's see what you can do. And for you, for both sides, it's kind of like not an interview, but you're seeing how they work and seeing if you want to work with them, and they're seeing how you work and the product you put out there. And that's how it works out with really everything, like for a job, for volunteering, for anything.
Yeah, and both of us are in the same situation. I don't know if Aiden, you've messaged anyone like that yet, but like last August or September, I messaged Rachel Dory and Tulloch about potentially audio producing for their podcast, which I'd never done before. And for some reason, they accepted me. And the audio sucked for the first 6 months, but I think it got a lot better after that. And I'm very thankful for that opportunity. And it's something that I didn't expect to get. And even if you don't expect to get a position, you should still put your name out there and but like tell people about who you are and what you can do. And you've clearly done that with Galaxy Training. I don't know if you've done any other things like that.
I'm doing some gym, like actual gym, like weights and stuff as well. I haven't posted any of it, but I've shared it. But yeah, same kind of concept. It's the same where I've never done gym stuff. Like I'm usually just basketball, and then I've also started to do hockey and soccer and volleyball and that kind of stuff, but I was mainly basketball.
Right.
So the gym, it's kind of a new, different kind of atmosphere. Like, how do I shoot videos for the gym? Like, there's no dunks, there's no 3-point shots. At the same time, it's different stuff. You're still getting sweat, you're still getting people benching and doing crazy stuff. But yeah, Other than that, not much. Let me take a look.
Hey, you got a full plate.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how this sort of came about, but your internship with, I don't know how, I think it's Alibi?
Alibi.
Alibi Entertainment. You were
Yeah.
doing an internship last summer from May 2019 to August
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah.
How did that sort of come about, and what was that experience like?
Yeah. So with that, it was one of the emails that we get through FCAT or whatever, where it's like, oh, here are the opportunities that people are sending us, and they want our students to do some stuff. So I just I didn't want to work part-time. Like I had a chance to work. I applied to Tim's and then I turned it down because at that point, basically, this is gonna sound crazy, but I have the receipts if you want to see. But basically, at that point, this was in March. My thought process was, I don't want to work part-time right now because I believe that the Raptors have a chance to win the championship. I want to be at Jurassic Park. I don't want to be working at not 8 o'clock shift or whatever while there's a potential finals game. Like obviously,
yeah.
I'm a little bit of a delusional fan. I thought we were gonna go back this year, but it's crazy. So basically, I
get that.
I didn't want to tie myself up with anything big. So with that internship, I saw there was only 2 days a week or 3 days a week kind of thing during the day, like office hours, like 9 to 5. So it would never conflict with any playoff games. It was downtown, so I could still go to the gym at Ryerson, which was cool because we still have our one card to access. So I could still go play basketball or whatever, as long as it was open. And it was downtown. It was a media company, so looks good on the resume. Good experience as well. And it was an office job, which is good experience because I did another co-op, grade 11. But other than that, like, how am I going to get another job if I'm like coming out of with only part-time jobs listed? Like, what am I going to do? So I kind of wanted to. I saw the opportunity. I seized it. It took a while for me to hear back, but I eventually heard back. And then I got it. And yeah, with that, it was mostly sitting at the computer doing a lot of research. It was intern work, so it wasn't nothing too amazing, but that's how you get in the door, really.
Yeah. So what kind of stuff were you researching there?
So with that, it was trying to generate leads and see where the producers could reach out, and one of the the CEBL, which is the Canadian Elite Basketball League, which started last year ish. Those opportunities there, so I kind of tried to find some stuff similar to that. Did some stuff. There was one shoot where I came out to. I don't know. That was cool. There was one shoot. It was at, you guys are gonna like this. It was at Eric Lindros's cottage.
Wow. Oh wow.
With Eric Lindros, and I didn't.
Where is that cottage? Where is that?
Don't give an address.
It was, I don't know, somewhere in cottage country.
No, but I feel like I've been around that area. The
Muskoka? I honestly don't know. Okay. I feel like it was.
Would make sense if it were in the Muskokas.
Yeah, I feel like it was up there, but at the same time, I don't know for sure.
Okay.
All right. I honestly don't even know. I'm pretty sure it was Muskokas, but that's where most cottages really are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't know. Obviously, I don't watch hockey, so I didn't know who he was. I vaguely knew, but met him. His hand was huge. This guy's massive. I did a little bit of research on who this guy is. Apparently, he's a rough, enforcer type person. So I was like, okay, this guy's kind of scary. But it was super chill. I was literally just on set, kind of as an assistant doing tasks. But they took me out there, which was really cool, and gave me that experience. Yeah.
Sounds really interesting in terms of getting an opportunity in an entertainment business. Although I assume was this sports related or was this more just?
Yeah. It was sports related. It was it's for the NHLPA. I don't know how much I can say.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
It's definitely sports. It was an interview with him. There was another former NHL player. He's an all-star. He's not a Hall of Famer. I don't know his name. I feel bad. I don't know his name.
Current NHL player or ex-NHL?
No, former for sure. I also did some like transcription, like closed captioning. So with that, they did other interviews with current NHL players like Jonathan Toews. I think Crosby was in there as well. So I was looking at the footage of the interview, but I wasn't actually at the interviews.
Okay.
So basically with that, it was like an entertainment company. And with that, there was a sports section. So I was basically the sports intern. So I was helping out the sports executive producer. And then I was also just doing miscellaneous tasks.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really good opportunity. And that came about through Bryerson's ideas and our jobs and opportunities.
Yeah. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Ryerson FCAD jobs and opportunities.
Yeah. So that's really interesting. I didn't realize how in depth that was.
Yeah.
We're running out of time very quickly. But let's quickly touch on your We the Raptors page, which we touched on a little bit a little while ago.
Yeah.
But how did that sort of come about, and what have you learned from that experience?
Okay, yeah, perfect. So with that, it started out 2015, maybe 2014.
Yep, 2015. Yep, that was the first post.
Yeah. I think there might have been older stuff that I deleted.
Oh, true.
It was like, what was the first post?
It was
I'm scrolling right now, so I'm gonna find it eventually. But
Kyle Lowry edit.
It started out. It was a different name. It was called Vote the North, and it was just voting for Kyle Lowry, DeMar, and Jonas, and I think maybe Rudy Gay at the time. No, it was 2013.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, so it was literally just to vote them. I just needed a separate account. And then I started I downloaded the Photoshop free trial and I was like, oh, this is cool. Let me try this. Searched up some tutorials, kept doing it, started posting memes, and grew from there. And then I realized, oh, this is fun. Some people are liking my stuff. And I kind of enjoy this. I started doing graphics on my phone, like with random apps, which was cool. Weren't the most advanced stuff, and then I obviously eventually tapered off into Photoshop.
Right.
But yeah, that turned into We the Raptors, which is a really good name. Now that
I'm surprised you got that name. That's cool.
Yeah, I got that maybe. Let's see, must have been around 20. It was 2015, like by 2015. Oh, perfect! I found it. March 20th, 2015. This is when I changed. But yeah, with that, I kind of just kept working, kept learning how to design stuff, how to post content, reach people. So I think I'm looking at it right now, I started kind of growing with a Norm edit when he was coming out of UCLA. We drafted him, Milwaukee drafted him 46. We traded Grievous Vasquez for Norman Powell, and the pick that turned out to be OG Anunoby. Fun fact.
Wow,
and Grievous Vasquez played 23 games for the Milwaukee Bucks. Fun fact. So that's an L on the Bucks' part. Huge W. I think we won that trade. Huge W for the Raptors. But yeah, started posting some stuff, kept kind of learning, grew from there. And I posted the one day DeMar will follow me, and just kept going, kept tagging Raptors. That's one of the big things, is gotta tag people and stuff so they see it. Mm-hmm. Got some likes, and then yeah, some of the DeMar ended up following in March or April. Find it. Yeah, must have been. So Patrick Patterson followed on Halloween, because I posted like a Batman Photoshop of him, and I called it Patman. He really liked it. And then Demar was in February 9th, 2016.
There you go. That's pretty good.
You have screenshots of these?
I have screenshots.
Oh,
well, I'm looking at the actual page, cool. But I do have screenshots. Like,
nice.
I favorited them so I can find them easily. But
okay, cool.
Actually, let me save this in my Instagram so I can find it easily.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice.
We do have like less than a minute here.
Oh,
yeah,
so maybe we should.
Sorry, I was ranting.
We'll talk I think we'll talk a little bit more on the Wheaton Raptors stuff after the break, and then we'll talk about your Getty image, which I think will be fun to talk about. So yeah, we'll be right back. All right, and we are back, and we have one call left because Joseph has class at 3:00, and we took quite a long time getting through all this stuff because he has done a lot. We're going to quickly wrap up with We the Raptors, who are currently sitting at 8,452 followers as of last night. I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if Aiden followed.
I just followed, I think, right?
All right, so we're 8,453.
No, I'm at 51.
51? You lost two?
Brutal.
Oh god, wait. I got you if I haven't followed yet.
Oh yeah, get the Big League to follow that. Which, if you aren't following the Big League on Instagram, follow the Big League on Instagram
at the Big League Show.
Bingo. And we'll link all of Joseph's stuff down below. All three of his Instagrams, his website, which we haven't really talked about because it's basically just a collection of the stuff he's done, including the screenshot of the Raptors sharing his, I guess, acting, your version of the shot.
Yeah.
Is probably the best way to describe it. But we'll wrap up on We the North. I don't know if you have anything you want to add to the We the North Instagram thing.
It's gotten more followers now. I just did 3 accounts, 3 follows. There you go.
We're at 54 now. Thank you. Thank you, Aiden.
So go follow that. I don't think really many people in the program know that you run that account.
I haven't really promoted it much just because I haven't been active much. But yeah, some people know. Yeah,
we got to start pushing that.
Yeah.
But let's quickly, before we get into, we're going to do all the majors, like the hockey, baseball, football first, and then we'll have an actual discussion about basketball because Joseph is a basketball guy. But you were on the cover of, I believe, it was the Toronto Star.
Mm-hmm.
Your Getty image, you're a member of Getty Images, I guess. There are pictures of you. I'm looking at one of them now of you celebrating at Jurassic Park.
These ones, yep.
Of a young Joseph without the beard.
Yeah.
How did that come about? How did you find out that you were going to be on the cover? How did they get your name? How did that just everything happen?
So basically with that, it was literally just Jurassic Park. I was at the front. I was obviously very animated. And with that one specifically, whoever the photographer was called me over and said, I would like your name to post to credit it or whatever. I didn't know it was for the Toronto Star. I just I could tell he's part of the media. So yeah, with that it was cool. I was also, I think it was probably a different image, but I was also on the Score app for I think one of the Raptors Pacers games. Yeah, a lot of stuff of me at Jurassic. That's probably the most. That might be the most. That might be the place where I have the most photos of me, and unintentionally so.
There was one of you behind the mayor, right? Last year.
Yeah, I was behind John Tory once. I was celebrating in some of the hype vids that the Raptors posted for a couple of seconds. I have screen recordings of them. It was 2 or 3 hype videos where I was just like, hey, look at me, Raptors fan.
You were on CP24, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on CP24 3 times and on CBC once, or CTV.
Jeez.
It was...
Wow.
How many times do you think you've been to Jurassic Park?
I was looking at the other day. Last year alone, I was technically 10-0 when I went to Jurassic Park. but I was 11-1. So the one game we lost was game 5 of the finals, and I wasn't in the front part of the park. I was in one of the further zones because unfortunately people were just crazy lining up, and I don't know what I think I had work that day or something like that, so I couldn't get out there super early. So with that one, I was far back, so I'm not going to count that as a loss. So technically, I'm 10-0 when the Raps are 10-0 when I was at Jurassic Park. So Jurassic Park was open this year. There'd be a second banner behind me.
Yes.
But other than that, I started going in 2016 against the Pacers. I went game 1, which we lost. Game 2, wow. Game 2, I was with my friend, so it was just the two of us. And Akil Augustine handed us some tickets. So we watched game 2 from the inside in like the 300, like very top of the 300s. That game, Raps came back. I think DeMar was riding the bench in the fourth quarter just because the Raps went on a huge run. Won game 2. Game 3 and 4 were away games that I didn't go. Game 5 was the Norman Powell game.
Yeah.
Game 6, we lost. Game 7, I was there, which is a dub. Miami, I think I went for one game. And then for the Cavs, I don't think I went. Couldn't find anyone.
We can just forget about the Cavs series. So that never happened.
Oh, no, that was the one we won 2 games. That was the Bismack series.
That's when we came back, right? We lost in 6?
Yeah. Yeah, we lost in 6. It was Raps in 6. LeBron had a post-game interview where he's like, just stopped. And like the Raps fans are going, "We the North." He's like, "Can you hear this?" And I was so proud.
Yeah.
Little tears coming from your eyes.
That's when we were thinking LeBron might come here.
Yeah, and then
that was a pipe dream.
And then he went out and did a whole lot of other stuff in Toronto that wasn't what we wanted at all. So for that, I will never forgive LeBron. I don't like LeBron.
Yeah, it's been insane to be a Raptors fan. Were you downtown for when they won?
Yes. Game 6, I was in Jurassic Park. This is crazy. I was supposed to be interviewed again, but then Drake showed up, so all the media focused on Drake. So I was like, okay, whatever. I get to party with all these people. And it's pre-COVID, and it's like, just imagine yourself in this massive crowd of people, shoulder to shoulder, jumping in the air, with little confetti coming down on us. It was crazy. After that, we walked around the streets, party. There's a whole bunch of music. People smashed cop cars, which is a little tough, but
destroyed some buses.
Destroyed some buses. People were climbing all up on top of things. There's one guy with a casted boot that was climbing on top of a street light, and I was like, I mean, how are you gonna get down, bro?
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah, but the city went crazy.
Where parts downtown were you? Because I went down as well. I was watching at a friend of mine. His dad owns a brewery, and we were there, and we streetcarred over in a streetcar that had literally like 150 200 people in it, where I was basically hanging onto a bar so that I wouldn't step onto the stairs, because you can't stand on the stairs when the doors are closing. And that was insane. So where were you downtown?
I was literally just right in front of the screen, and then just around on Bay Street after.
Okay.
So right by Union Station.
So you didn't end up by City Hall?
No, I wasn't at City Hall. I wasn't at Young Dundas, but I know those 2 places were live as well. And just the entire city, man. Like, I can go on for just we can cut it off here just because I'll probably rant again, but wow, Jurassic Park, crazy.
Yeah, we should fire through all the sports stuff because you do have to go. So I guess we can start with MLB, where Justin Verlander and Ken Giles both need Tommy John surgery. So that's a huge loss to the Jays, and Verlander is just a huge loss, period, for the MLB. And I think he's at the Astros, correct?
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't pitched all year. So, like, he was injured, I think, maybe the first week of the season, and there was speculation that he might have needed Tommy John. So, I mean, it sucks. It's a big loss for the Astros, but as a non-Astros fan, it's fine. All that they've gone through, like,
we are not complaining.
It sucks for Verlander because he's a great pitcher, but I don't feel bad for the Astros. And then as for the Jays with Giles, like, yeah, that's a big loss. He was their closer. I know he's basically been out all year as well. He like just got healthy. But obviously there was still some stuff lingering, and they felt that it's best for him to just have surgery. And he's out for the entirety of this year, and then also maybe the entirety of next year as well, even though he's a free agent. So the Jays might not choose to re-sign him, or they could re-sign him and just get him for cheap as well. Do you have any other MLB notes, Connor? Just those
I don't
two?
personally, no. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say that the Jays can clinch a playoff spot tonight.
Yeah.
That's big. That is humongous. No Raptors, obviously, no Leafs, and the Jays. They have a chance. You never know.
They have to win, and who is it that has to lose?
Seattle has to lose. Jays have to win, or the Jays just have to win 2 out of their next 5 games, and they're in the playoffs. Their magic number is 2.
There's a good chance of that happening, but they could also fall apart, and that would be bad. And I think Alejandro Kirk, is that his name? Mm-hmm. He had a bomb last night, and he's a recent call-up, so
yeah,
good for him.
4 for 4.
Let's hit football really quick because there's a couple things we need to talk about for football. The entire league is now injured, which
that's Saquon Barkley out the whole year.
Saquon Barkley, most of the San Francisco 49ers. QB Tyrod Taylor.
Devontae Adams might be out next week as well for the Green Bay. There's some big names. Like you said, Garoppolo, Kittle, Mostert for the 49ers.
Yeah, and they blame that on the turf, which, I guess. Sure, it's your home field, though. Quickly, one other football thing. This came out thanks to Adam Schefter this morning, which is absolutely insane and blows my mind that this happened. But Chargers team doctor accidentally punctured the lung of their QB, Tyrod Taylor, while trying to give him a pain-killing injection. First of all, how did that happen? Second of all, how is this guy still a doctor? Third of all, doctors advised he should not be playing for an indefinite amount of time, which, thanks, genius. I think we probably assumed having punctured a lung, he's not going to be playing football. But I just wanted to highlight that to make fun of the NFL and point out how absolutely stupid that is. The fact that the doctor somehow punctured the lung of their QB, trying to give him a pain-killing injection to his broken rib.
I feel bad for the doctor. Yeah. He's gonna get a lot of hate.
We'll be shocked if he still has a job.
That's embarrassing.
Embarrassing is one way to put it.
I saw someone that said he must have had the backup on his fantasy team.
Exactly.
Wow. That's pretty.
Wow.
He played last week. He's good too. The backup's good. They drafted him in the first round, like top 10.
Okay. Well, there you go. They got a good backup at least, because Tyrod Taylor is out for an indefinite amount of time with a punctured lung. Let's talk hockey. We're not going to talk Patrick Hornqvist because that entire situation is absolutely insane.
Hasn't officially happened yet. Yeah.
No, because they can't reach Patrick Hornqvist right now.
They can't reach him.
They can't reach him. They can't get a hold of him. See if he will waive his no trade, because he currently has a no trade. So we'll touch on that situation next week because that's insane.
Probably in Sweden without service. Or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But that's sort of blowing hockey Twitter up. Sens are not bringing back Anderson or Borowiecki. So that's 2 very key parts of that organization. Craig Anderson being like 40 years old, goalie. Wouldn't shock me to see him hang up his skates. Mark Borowiecki, 31, left-handed defenseman. I'd love him on the Leafs, but he's left-handed, so I don't think he'll come here. He's a great locker room guy, and whoever gets him is going to get huge presence. He may not be the best player, but in the locker room, he's unbelievable, and he seems like an unbelievable person from what you've heard about him. Like, there was a guy who had his leg broken by, I think it was anti-gay protesters, anti-LGBTQ protesters, and he went and confronted them, and they broke his leg, And yesterday, I don't know how, but Borowiecki like either dropped gloves off at his front, like on his front doorstep, or somehow got into his house and gave it to him as he was sleeping. And in the past, he stopped a robbery. He like grabbed a guy trying to rob something. Like he just seems like a very, very good person, and props to him for all of that stuff. Whoever gets him's incredibly lucky, and I wish the Leafs could sign him, but whatever. Buffalo, Minnesota made a trade, which woof, Minnesota. Marcus Johansson was sent to the Minnesota Wild for Eric Stahl, was a straight up. Well, both are going to be UFAs at the end of this season. Stahl was reportedly stunned by the trade, according to Michael Russo. That trade is interesting to say the least. I think Stahl is going to be a great fit on Buffalo as a second line center. He sounds like a very good locker room guy as well. So I don't know if Aiden or Joseph, although you don't follow hockey, do you have any thoughts on this trade?
Great trade. Really good trade, in my opinion. I think both teams get really good players.
You know what? They are really good players. That is true. They are both pretty good. I think, like Connor said, like Minnesota won this trade. Do I think Buffalo's going to be like
Minnesota lost it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, Minnesota lost this trade.
Minnesota got blown out of the water.
But do I think that Buffalo is going to be like a playoff team now that they got Eric Stahl? I don't think so. Like Stahl is good, but he's also what, like 37 years old?
I think he's 35.
35? Johansson's the younger guy. Like maybe I can kind of see where Minnesota's coming from on this one, but it's tough. And also, like, yeah, they're both UFAs at the end of next season. So is it really going to impact much? I think Johansson's making less than Stahl as well. So maybe it could have been like a cap situation.
I think it might be the other way around.
Is it? I feel like Stahl has to be making more than Johansson, right?
I don't think so. I think Johansson got paid last summer. And they're going to try to play him as a centerman, but this year they tried that in Buffalo and it just didn't work.
No.
So rumors are that they're now looking for another centerman, potentially as return for Matt Dumba, who's potentially going to be on the move. They're also not going to be bringing back Mikko Koivu, who's their captain.
Right.
37 years old.
Yo, Toronto just signed him to a league min, fourth line center.
I would love. He's good. He's not still amazing. Maybe third
league
line,
min though. League min. If we get him for league min,
he's not taking league min. That's incredibly unlikely. He's going to go to some other team for probably a couple mil, maybe $3 million. But yeah, that was pretty big news. Bill Armstrong is now the general manager of the Arizona Coyotes, who are still a tire fire, and that entire situation needs to improve under him, or that franchise could be going down the toilet. Let's see, what else? Dallas and Tampa are in the Cup final. It's currently tied 1-1. Stamkos practiced today. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he plays. What do you think about this series? Who do you have winning it, Aiden? And then we can and Joseph as well. I'll have you make a pick blindly.
I've said Tampa from the beginning. If you look at the first podcast that we did going into the playoffs, I said I have Tampa winning my bracket. I didn't have Dallas. I thought Dallas was going to lose in like the second round, but I still think Tampa will win it. I'm going to say Tampa in 7, although I would like it in 5 games because I have Vasilevsky on my fantasy team and I want the series to end fast. I don't need the losses. I want the wins. And also I drafted Stamkos, so I hope he plays tonight.
Yeah, he practiced today and got some shots in. He looked okay. John Cooper said he was inching closer. But Joseph, who's your prediction for the Stanley Cup champion?
I'm going Tampa as well. I'm pretty confident they can pull it out this year. Yeah.
All right, both good picks. It's going to be a close series, I presume, based on the first couple of games. And Dallas have done a pretty good job with Tampa. But, yeah, it's been interesting. To say the least, that entire series, and we'll see how it turns out. If Stamkos comes back, I think they might have a bit of trouble, Dallas, but we'll see. That's all dependent on whether or not he comes back. Let's quickly, actually, before we do that, Bob Bugner was named the Sharks head coach, which, who cares? They suck. Yeah, that's who cares? Like, come on. They didn't hire Gerard Gallant. They didn't hire Mike Babcock.
No, he's their interim coach, right? They just made him the head coach.
Yeah, but they sucked. So why are you hiring him if they sucked under him? Like, I don't really know what else to add. I don't like it, but hey, it's Bob Bugner. Why not? Award winners. Kel McCarr won the Calder. Connor Hellebuck won the Vezina. Roman Josi took the Norris. And Leon Draisaitl won the Hart, which created a bit of debate on hockey Twitter around whether or not he should have won it. Some people were leaning for Artemi Panarin to win it. I believe it was Don Lucian, who writes for The Athletic. He didn't even have Draisaitl on his ballot, which created quite the stir. But do you think Draisaitl should have won it? I personally think it should have been Panarin because of the impact that he had on the Rangers. But who do you think should have won it? Do you think it should have gone to Draisaitl? And Joseph will ask you to because you don't watch hockey and you'll just go based off of name.
It's tough to pick Draisaitl just because he also plays with McDavid. And like the Hart Trophy goes to, it's basically the MVP of the season. So it is tough to say Draisaitl because I think McDavid was healthy, right, throughout the whole year too. Maybe he was out a couple games.
Yeah, he was pretty much healthy the entire season, although he was playing basically on one knee because his other one knee.
I don't think Draisaitl was the reason as to why the Oilers did so well in the regular season. Obviously, they didn't have a good playoff, but yeah, Panarin makes a lot of sense. Like, I don't think anyone thought the Rangers would come close to making the playoffs this year, and he made an immediate impact there. I still think Nathan MacKinnon, though. Like, Nathan MacKinnon was a beast all year. Even if you could look at a guy like David Pastrnak for it as well. Like, he had an insane year, over 40 goals. I think he was close to 50. And, really just other than him and Marchand, there wasn't really too many other guys on the Bruins that had great years. Like, Torrey Krug didn't have a good year. He was injured. Krejci was dealing with a lot of injuries. Bergeron was out for a while as well. It's tough to say, but I guess I'll go with Panarin as well. I think that's probably the best bet. But I still think Draisaitl is a better player than Panarin.
Whoa. I don't know about that. But, okay. We can get into that in another episode. Because
you don't really? I think Draisaitl is a lot better than Panarin.
I think if he isn't playing with McDavid, he's not doing what he is.
He's not playing with McDavid, though. He's playing on another line.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was.
I thought he was splitting time with him.
I mean, like, they obviously switch. Like, they'll put them together for some period, and they'll break them off. I think Draisaitl is the better player. He's a center, good two-way guy. He can play the penalty kill. Panarin's obviously amazing offensively and stuff, but
if you look at the numbers,
has a bigger body and stuff.
If you look at the numbers, Panarin's year was incredible. Like, he was insane, advanced numbers wise. But Draisaitl is understandable. Joseph, who is your pick for the Vezina? Or not Vezina,
Do you know what the Vezina is?
No idea.
Okay.
That's best goalie.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have a pick for that. I was gonna say Draisaitl is kind of a cool name, but you guys kind of convinced me away from him. So, in my opinion, I think it should have been someone else.
Where is Draisaitl from?
He's got to be like Russian.
It's a tough one.
It's tough because he's German.
German, okay.
Yeah. It's been a good couple of years for the Germans. Had some big top 5 picks, but yeah. Other hockey news. Joel Edmondson, who we mentioned last week in the Montreal trade, signed a 4-year, $3.5 million AAV deal with Montreal. It includes a 10-team no-trade list. So, interesting deal for Montreal. They got cap space, so I guess they're going to use it. But I don't love the contract. I think Edmondson isn't amazing, but it is what it is. They're solidifying that left side, which is much weaker than their right, and he'll probably be playing with either Petrie or Weber. So they'll presumably pull up a lot of the slack that he leaves behind. But yeah, you like the signing or no?
I think it's a little bit much. Like, I would have preferred $3 million maximum. But I think just because Montreal actually made the trade for him, they had to pay him a little bit more.
Yeah, that's fair. Very fair. And finally, Manny Malhotra is named Toronto's new assistant coach. He's replacing their former guy whose name I'm blanking on, who went to join the Kingston. Paul McFarland, thank you. He's replacing Paul McFarland, who left for the Kingston Frontenacs to become their head coach. Malhotra is leaving Vancouver to join the Leafs. He was previously in a non-bench role, so he wasn't there. He's a big face-off guy. He's really improved Vancouver's face-offs and will hopefully help Toronto centers, which are one of our strong suits, and hopefully help Matthews become an insane face-off guy. Toronto also reportedly talked to Ricky Thompson, who is joining Bob Boughner's staff in San Jose, and Bruce Boudreau, but they ultimately went with Manny Malhotra. I think it's an interesting signing. He's a first-time head coach, or assistant coach, on a bench role, so we'll see how that goes. But people seem to like him, and he's got experience at the NHL. He was a former player, so we'll see where that goes. Bruce Boudreau could theoretically still join the Leafs if Dave Haxtell leaves, and there were some rumors earlier in the offseason that he might, because he sort of wanted to learn under Babcock, and now that Babcock's fired, he's not learning anybody, and he's just a straight-up assistant coach. Mm-hmm. So we'll see where that goes. But what are your thoughts on Manny Malhotra becoming the new assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where do you stand on it before we hit basketball?
I don't really have an opinion, to be honest. I don't know. Like, his resume isn't much. Like, he was just like a kind of an assistant coach on the Canucks. He didn't have the bench role there. Good player, always that third or fourth line guy, get on the penalty kill. I'm sure he can help the Leafs forwards be a bit more defensive. I don't know. It's really tough to say right now because it's not like Bruce Boudreau where you know what you're going to be getting. I still think that they maybe should go out and sign him if Haxtell leaves. But I'm interested to see what he's doing. I know he's a younger guy too, so that might bring in some new, young, youthful energy to the coaching staff, like Sheldon Keefe did last year. So, yeah, I think it's an okay signing.
Yeah, and breaking news from Elliot Friedman on the Hornqvist trade. It appears as if the Hornqvist-Matheson deal is being held up due to an insurance issue, the ability to fully insure contracts against injury. So we'll see where that goes. We'll have more on that next week on our next week's show, which I presume we're going to do. We might be joining Spirit Live. We'll see. We've applied for that spot to have a radio show again, but yeah. We got basketball and we only have 10 minutes left in the call, so we might have to call you one more time quickly to do.
We can do it. We can do it.
Well, we got to do hot takes still.
Let's try and get it. Let's try and get it done.
We'll clutch it out.
All right. Billy Donovan hired as Bulls head coach. Good or bad? One word.
Good.
Good?
Yeah, better than what they had before, but we'll see.
All right.
He's okay.
Lakers up 2-1 on the Nuggets. Murray goes off in game 3. Lakers got 4
offensive rebounds.
4 offensive rebounds. Thank you.
Yeah.
I got confused by your notes. So they only had 4 offensive rebounds, which is shameful, but I guess you'll get one off. Who do you have winning that series? How do you see it going?
Yeah. Lakers should win, but Jamal Murray, wow. Those 2 threes he hit in the fourth quarter were just disgusting. He wasn't scoring well, and then he just turned it on. It's crazy. He's Steph Curry-like right now. Just look, wow. He's Canadian, guys.
Yeah. Canadian kid. Got to support the Canadian kids. He's one of 2 Canadians. The other one playing for the Miami Heat and Kelly Olynyk, who are currently up 2-1 versus the Celtics. Who do you take in this series? Do you think it's going to be close? What do you think about the series?
I'm on the Heat bandwagon. I hate the Celtics with a passion. I think the Heat are going to win, though. I think they've got a better supporting cast. I think overall they're more dogs, whereas the Celtics are very talented, but they've shown like their stars haven't been able to kind of take over, really. Kemba hasn't done much. Jason Tatum's kind of sucked it up here and there in clutch time in both the Raps and the Heat series. Yeah, let's go Heat.
All right. Masai press conference. It appears as though Bobby Webster is close to an extension following Nick Nurse signing his extension. Masai said he's going to try to get his guys done first before he does himself. So hopefully he stays. It'll be interesting to see what he does, but I think Toronto's off season and Toronto's next season and future is going to be very dependent on that. But before we hit the Raptors, and I'm going to get you to do it in like a minute, what you think the Raptors should do in their off season. What do you think the Clippers should do this off season? Do they blow it up? Do they keep it? One sentence answer.
Oh, they got to keep it. You've already blown it up too much.
Do they re-sign Martin Trezor-Harrell?
They can try. I don't know if he's going to want to stay. I've heard he's beefed a bit with Paul George. He also did unfollow their social media on Instagram. And fun fact, he followed the Raptors. So we'll see. We'll see.
There are rumors the Raptors might be interested in him. So
yeah,
potentially watch out for that. But finally, before we do our hot takes, which we'll let you think about it for a second because we didn't inform you about it this week. We completely forgot.
No worries.
What do you think the Raptors should do this offseason? Who stays? Who goes? I'm going to assume you know the team because you're a Raptors super fan. What do you think they do this offseason?
Got to keep Fred if he wants to stay. Obviously, he's unrestricted, so someone else throws money at him. Unfortunately, got to do the best to keep Fred. First and foremost, Masai, though. Masai is, well, he's basically the head. So in order to keep Fred, you got to kind of keep Masai. Yeah, I think Toronto, MLSC, I don't think they're going to be shy in terms of throwing money at Masai. They gave Nick Nurse one of the highest paid coaching positions in the NBA. So if Masai ends up leaving, it'll be something other than money, in my opinion. We'll see. Other than that, Marc Gasol's probably gone unless he just wants to stay for like a vet minimum or whatever. But he's not getting money. Serge, I love that guy so much. He's so, like, his personality, gotta keep him. He played so well as well in the playoffs. I don't know how much money we can give him, but Serge, please stay. We love you, Serge.
Yes, he's amazing. He's very good on defense as well, and could be a really good option if they bring in Montrezl Harrell as a starting center. He could be a really good backup. Although I'd like to see Marcus Boucher, but
well, Montrezl just coming off 6th Man of the Year. Depends how much money again we can throw at him, because as Masai said, and as everyone knows, we got to keep the 2021 cap space in mind. Really.
Yeah, it's going to be huge for the Raptors' future, but let's do our hot takes. As you know, well, as you don't know, but as we know, we have a recurring segment on our show at the end of every episode where we give a hot take, and it can be anything from the Raptors are going to go back-to-back to Aiden's prediction that Mike Babcock was going to get fired in 2 weeks. So I don't know if Aiden, you have one prepared, do you?
Yeah, I just thought of one. I'll do hockey related. And I'm going to say this is a hot take for a reason. This is a pretty big hot take. I think Tampa Bay is going to win the series in 5 games. They win the next 3. Dallas doesn't win any more games. Tampa in 5.
That's a hot take. It's a very hot take. Joseph, are you ready, or would you like me to try to make up one on the spot?
I kind of thought of one. Let's say Jamal Murray. That's a hot take. Jamal Murray, top 3 point guard of the NBA right now. Realistically, he's probably top 5, more so, but hot take, you know. This guy's playing out of his mind. Unreal. Like, even the passes, just this guy's crazy.
Who's he?
So wait, what's your top 5?
That's the thing. Well, considering Steph. So Steph's number 1. Say Dame 2, and then with this one, Jamal Murray 3. Kyrie Irving in the top 5, but I'm not a fan. Russell Westbrook, I'm not a fan. Kyle Lowry, Ed VanVleet. I really wanted hot takes. I could give you like delusional hot takes. Kyle Lowry top 5 all time.
We won't look for stuff that's too delusional.
Yeah.
But my hot take this week is going to be the Nuggets win the series.
Ooh.
I think they beat the Lakers.
Okay.
I think Jamal goes off. I think Jokic continues to own the board. And Danny Green continues to ruin the Lakers.
So are you willing to say that the Nuggets will win the NBA championship?
Ooh.
I don't think they beat the Heat.
If they can beat the Lakers.
I think Jimmy Butler would be able to shut down Jamal Murray too well. And I think Bam Adebayo would be a better match to Nikola Jokic than Anthony Davis is my take.
Okay.
But with that, unfortunately, we have to end because Joseph has a class in 20 minutes. Joseph, I want to thank you so much for coming on. We really, really appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.
We really appreciate it. All of his stuff will be linked down below. Roots in the Ram will be down there. His Instagram for photography by Joseph Shenadu.
What?
Shenouda. God, there are some names that just don't click in my head, and unfortunately, this is one of them. But it's spelled Joseph. Obviously, you know how to spell Joseph. Shenouda. So you can follow him at by Joseph Shenouda on Instagram. I give up. By Joseph on Instagram. You can follow We the Raptors, which will be down below as well. And all his video edits and camera work is there. His website will be down below as well on bhands.net and his other website. But with that, thank you for listening. We will be back next week with another episode. We don't know who the guest will be. We'll figure that out in the next coming days. But thank you for listening. Check us out on Spotify, rate the podcast, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like it, comment, share it, do all that fun stuff. But thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.